pitch from Boston. It's the Rays and the Red Sox, and it's coming up next. From the oldest park in baseball, MLB The Show comes your way from Fenway Park in Boston. Tonight we get the week started with the first of four between the Tampa Bay Rays and the Red Sox. Welcome into Red Sox baseball here on the show. Matt Vasgersian here with you. Alongside me are Eric Harros and Steve Lyons. And Steve, a good matchup on the mound here in this opener. Well, let's take a look at the numbers right here. These guys coming off of a loss in his last start. So they'll each be wanting to turn things around in this game. Guys, as the night moves along. But first, let's take a look here at the starting lineup for the visiting Tampa Bay Rays. And they'll align themselves like this here tonight. And there you get a look at the starting pitcher, whose job it'll be to keep these guys in check. His number is right there on the right side of your screen. And in the field, the Red Sox will look like this behind him. Tim Beckham makes his way to the plate now as we're just about set for baseball this evening.
Welcome back, everybody, to MLB 15, the show.
Start of a 4-game set as the game's first.
Red Sox won in real life 8-7. They were down 6-4. And Xander Bogaerts in the bottom of the 8th hits a grand slam off Brandon Gomes to give him an 8-6 lead. Robbie Ross comes on in the 9th, gets another save, gives up a run, but the Sox win 8-7. And I believe that they are now out of the cellar.
And this is going to find the crowd down the left field line. Count holds at 1-2. We'll try again 1-2. And this pitch is looked at for a ball, and that'll even the count to the Rays' second baseman at 2-2. Now the pitch. And this is fouled back and out of play. And another 2-2. And he just manages to stay alive here as he fights this one foul.
Hello?
2-2 pitch on the way.
Maybe shit me.
Now a swing and a ground ball. And that's a fair ball as this one gets by him at third. Right there to start this ball game. Fouling off.
Hey, what's up?
Then he gets for what he likes.
All right.
Pitches a cold strike to throw.
Hey, so I had the screening. One person compared it to Donnie Darko. I don't know if you've ever saw that movie. Yeah, no. I mean, I didn't finish the sentence. In the sense of... Yeah, so no, he said, huh? All right, so he said it reminds him in the sense of some parts didn't make sense to him, but then at the end, it all got cleared up. Like, for example, why is this happening? Why is this happening? Oh, now I see why this is happening. So that's the first thing that came to the guy. One person said it was very different from anything they've ever seen. One person said it was very, very dark, but in a good way, so... now, the reason I called more so is because this kid picked this out of nowhere. I don't know if you knew about it, if we talked about it, I forget. But remember we used Israel's apartment? Well, there's a mezuzah on the door. Okay. Because he asked me, he goes, "Is she Jewish?" I said, "What are you talking about?" I had no idea what he was talking about. He goes, "A psychiatrist, is she Jewish?" And I said, "I don't know." And I said, "Why do you ask?" And he told me, and I said, "Oh my God, fuck." So I didn't know if you knew that.
Yeah, no, I knew that. But yeah, I know that.
Okay.
She's not Jewish.
No, I know that, but I didn't know how to answer. I didn't know what he was talking about, so.
Yeah, I'll get yeah, but go on.
Yeah, so that's pretty much it. So I just wanted to call about the yeah. Yeah.
You know what?
All right.
Runner at third in the opening half inning. Tampa Bay nothing. Red Sox coming to bat. You're watching Major League Baseball, the show. Starting lineup for the Red Sox looks like this. And there you see the starting pitcher they'll match up against as you look at his numbers on the right side of your screen. And defensively, the Rays will look like this behind him. Steven Souza is into the ballgame now as he assumes duties in center field. Mookie Betts will step in now to lead things off in the home half of the first.
So obviously, you know, Mookie Betts, 57 games in a row, broke the streak of DiMaggio.
First pitch fastball swung on and missed 0-1. Now the pitch. He's really getting the better of him now. It's strike two.
Yeah, he hasn't shown that he's been able to resist those inside pitches. He may as well just keep going in there and hope he keeps chasing those pitches off the plate.
A little bit off the outside. It's 1-2. The pitch. There's a line.
58 in a row.
Swinging it as good as anyone, folks. The streak will continue. He's got a base hit.
Hey.
Yeah.
So far, so good. Well, we get a scoreless top of the first and lead our decision to start things in there.
They're used to watching movies that, spell things out in a very formulaic way, a very, Western way of watching movies or series, whatever. And I will tell you this. I don't know if I told you this. My ex-teacher, James Price, from the acting studio. I told you about James Price, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, I studied with him for a couple of months. She was in field class. And she got accepted to Tech 1, but she couldn't go because she's going to give birth. It starts in September. It starts like at the end of September, and she's going to be giving birth in 2 months. And I'm happy. But she said, "You're welcome back whenever you want to come back." But James Price, man, is late 50s, probably 60 already. He's a disciple of the Stanford Meisner at the Playhouse. Stanford Meisner is one of the greatest acting teachers, next to Lee Strasberg of the world and Uta Hagen and Stella Adler and so on and so forth. James Price is one of the better acting teachers and Meisner teachers in the country. He has quite a cachet. And he has quite a number of students that are doing big things now, that are series, movies, so on and so forth, whatever. If there was anybody I was sweating during the first with James Spikes because, for a number of reasons. One, he is the human lie detector. He is the fucking human lie detector. Secondly, he's a crude man with his critique and with his compliments. And this man is never going to fake the funk. And actually, and I know he does this because he did it with us 20 years ago. Can't believe I'm saying that. And he did it with Yolanda. He would talk about students, like movies he goes to, or their plays, former students or current students. And then he would start talking. He wouldn't mention who the students are. Okay? He wouldn't mention their names, but he would talk about their plays or their films. And sometimes the students figure it out. Oh, it's got to be this one. Because now you have Facebook, and he's on Facebook all the time. And he would say things like about their performance, or the writing, or the cinematography, or the about the stage direction, whatever it is. And then sometimes he'd give things some great reviews, and then he would put the reviews on Facebook. And I remember before the screening, I gotta admit, there's a part of me is saying, wow, wouldn't it be incredible if this man, like, loved my work, you know, and what I did, you know. And the thing is, he's seen my work, like, he hasn't seen me acting over 20 years, okay? And he would be seeing my acting, he would see my writing, my directing, my everything. He was one of the people that hung in there. I don't know if you remember, but he's the one that said, "We're here for you, Rodney." And he raised his fist. That was a very emotional moment to me. And it still is when I think about it. That night, well, not that night, when the show was over, he pulled me to the side. And Andrew, he said such incredible things about the series on all levels. He talked about the writing was incredible. And he goes, "My God, these actors, where did you get this cast?" And I said, "James, half of the cast member studied with you. Cooley studied with him. All the guys actually in the opening sequence studied with Yelena. You know, all those guys, those Wall Street hard-ons that you guys see ridiculous."
Yep.
And a couple of other people. Also, the reporter, the girl,
Yep.
Melissa, she studied with James Spikes, and she's a friend of James Spikes too. And he went off, and then he said, "Oh, and you were wonderful." And I was like, "Thanks." But for him to say that, and then get on Facebook, and I could send you the review, and write a review the way he did, and he compared it to the two favorite shows on cable. And he said to me, personally, "This is HBO all over the place, man, on one of the big networks." He goes, "Come on." And this man knows his shit. And this man is not going to fucking compliment anybody unless it's worthy. Trust me. He's fucking brutal. He's scary. People are afraid of him. Like, really, really. He's not for the faint of heart if you're going to study with him. And actually, Gregory went to study with him the first day, and Gregory left the class after that day, never came back. Okay?
Yep.
All right? So, and I know why Gregory walked away. It's quite obvious. But there's neither here nor there. I think Gregory made a huge mistake. But, so, and not that his opinion is like godly. But you know what? If there was a godly opinion, I think James Price comes pretty close to a godly opinion on Earth, especially about this. So what if he likes it? Now we got to get, 30 million people who like it. But, man, if it got by him, it'll get by most. And he even said, Andrew, and strike me down, and I like to swear, because I don't need to swear. If I tell you something, you should believe it. This man said to me, "I almost want to call it genius." And he held back. That's what he said. And yes, my head has been blown up since then. I had trouble squeezing it through my apartment. Still there, Andrew?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Yeah. So, that's my barometer. That's my barometer. So, and I'm not saying that your friends are jerks or whatever, or they get bad reviews or whatever. But I'm just saying, that's my barometer.
Well, here's the thing, and it's funny because I've been to both the screenings out in, obviously, there, and it's a different animal out there as far as people's knowledge of cinema, knowledge of theater, knowledge of all of that stuff, and so people were engaged, and I should have looked around. I didn't. I was sitting in my chair. I didn't. But, I'm thinking to myself, I don't think the people in this room, with the exception of maybe one of them, is going to understand what the hell they're watching, whereas everybody in New York did. They did. They got it. And if they didn't get it, they pretended to, but majority of them got it. And I'm like, and I'm thinking to myself, I can't even imagine what they're going to say to me at the end of this, because they don't understand what the hell, you know what I mean? So I get what you're saying.
I've seen all the fancy cars and the limousines and the movie stars. How was the song goes? Behind the Rockies and an evergreen. Oh, I know what I needed, and I'm wasting more time. I'm in a New York state of mind. Yeah, man. And again, I've got to be careful because I don't want to sound like that New York snob. But you know what? For whatever it's worth, we're kind of snobby here for a reason. Because we fucking think we know it all. You know?
Yeah.
We fucking think we know it all. We really do. And we think we know more about sports, even though we got a crappy sports team. We think we know about sports. We think we know more about fucking everything. We don't live in Israel, but we want to tell you Israeli politics, so on and so on and so forth. But, we know our art, man. We know our art. And I guess a lot of it's proximity, too. New York, man. New York. It really is a melting pot. As much as it's so gentrified and it's such a fucking elitist culture that lives in fucking New York now that just is sickening to me. But it is New York. It is New York, man. You get some homeless guy, and occasionally you have a conversation with this homeless guy by mishap. And then he starts splitting hairs about fucking subjects and like sociology and social issues and culture or technology or sports. And you're like, you're homeless and you smell. But you're fucking smart. That's New York, man. That's New York. Sitting in is not for everyone. But you know what? Neither is Fast and the Furious. And that's the truth. Fast and the Furious might be for 40 million people worldwide, or maybe more, but it's still not for everyone.
Have you ever thought, let me ask you this, have you thought, and I probably already know the answer to this because of the non-disclosure and everything else, but have you thought of saying, okay, the people, for the most part, that come to the screening, they know you. The people that came here knew me. Have you thought of saying at some point, okay, how, and you might not do this because it might screw everything up, and I would get it if it was irrelevant, but say, okay, take 50 random people from all walks of life, or whatever, throw them in a room, have them watch this, like a focus group, and see what they say.
Okay, check it out. I have no interest in doing that. I'm going to tell you why.
Okay.
First of all, I don't need to do that. I'm not that insecure about my work. You know the focus groups? People that are going to buy it.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay.
They're going to go in a room, and they're going to show it to fucking 10 knuckleheads. 3 of them are like Fast and Furious. 5 of them only watch Disney movies. 6 of them only watch intellectual movies. And 3 of them are communists. And they're going to figure out what demographic it falls under. Okay, that's how they work. That's none of my concern. I'm a filmmaker. I'm not a focus group guy.
Okay.
You want to do that in your time? That's fine. I have no problem with that. But I really don't care. I'll be very honest with you. I have no interest in what a folks group thinks about City Mercy. I know the shit is good. You know, and when I have people like a friend of ours named Holly, she's on my Facebook. If you see, I don't know if you saw, Holly and I had a conversation yesterday openly on Facebook. I'm careful about what I write.
No, I didn't. I gotta read it then.
Yeah, it's pretty open. And it is nothing greatly revealing, but she's like, wow, I really loved the last night. I'm sorry if my speech is slurring. I don't get out that often. The kid is really smart, intellectual woman, and she knows film and so on and so forth. But she was like, wow, I'm so moved by this, and I'm still thinking about the episode and the stories. And then our friend, the Beings, Israel, and you met them. We used their apartment.
Sure.
Sheila's apartment. You know, Israel's like talking it up. Israel's like, my God, you got to get a deal. This is incredible. And then Geraldine only so happened because they had bought tickets to this play and they forgot, and she was really upset. But she saw the first 3 episodes and she was like, Martin, I can't believe. She's like, I'm not saying that I didn't think you were capable of doing this, but she's like, this is incredible. I can't believe what I was watching. And she hasn't even seen 4, 5, and 6. And she's like, you got to interview a private view, man. Please, I want to see this. You know? And, you know, these are not dumb folks. These are artists themselves. They're photographers. You know, Israel's a jeweler who has a rock band. You know? And they've been playing together since the early 90s. You know, almost got a record deal. You know, so on and so on and so forth. You know? And these are really smart people. And they're not friends. They're not gonna fucking juice us or like give us a hand job underneath the table as a dog. You know, they're you know, and I'm not saying that if it sucked, they were gonna tell me, Roger, you suck, give it up, you're wasting all this money and this time, do something else. You know, they wouldn't do that either if they ever did suck. But trust me, I know when something's genuine and somebody's just like, hey, that was great, man. That was, you know, my friend Billy Lockhart, God rest his soul. He was an interesting guy. He did like over 65 dinner theaters on the boat. He was like, he had all these kids, and he was the highest paid freaking drag queen in Florida at one point. He was out there. He was bisexual. But he had a heart of gold. This guy. He was funny. He was everything. And he's the one that told me one day. I worked the hotel they gave me once. He told me, what you want doesn't happen. You're not gonna get it. You're not gonna find it in this hotel. And that's to this day when he right through me. But he once said, where is it? Something I'm gonna tell you that he said. I forgot. But he actually, I think about Billy and all this stuff comes to my mind. But he said something. What did he say? Billy mentioned something that was very profound. What he said, I just lost my train of thought. But anyway, Billy said many things. But he died of cancer. But I'm pretty young too. You know, in his 50s, I'd say 50s. But what was it? Anyway, you know, I'm 45. Really. If I'm not secure about my cock, then I'm not worth anything at this age. You know what I'm saying?
Sure, yeah.
You know. I mean, at that age, you know, you gotta own your shit, bro. You gotta own your shit. And it's like I'm 45. I got no time for like, you know. I know what I do, man. I'm not saying I don't have insecurities about my work, which you always have to. You always have to. You always have to have some form of doubt, of fear, because that's an ingredient that makes you work fucking hard. You know? That's the ingredient that keeps you up till like 6 in the morning when you have a 7 a.m. shoot and you're still working on your character and your lines. Okay? And, you know, I'm very confident with City of Mercy. You know? And again, it's not for everybody. It's not. You know what I mean? It's not.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's it's those. You have to be confident. You have to be confident in what you're doing. And at this stage of the game of my life, I'm very confident in what I do, as long as I get the right production value and you know, and have the tools that I need to create, you know. And I think, but yeah, in New York you have a more open bunch. You just do. I'm not talking about. I'm not telling you there's no knuckleheads here. I'm not telling you there's no everybody's smart here. No, you got some ignorant bastards here. Dumb. You got dumb. You got dumb here. But you got dumb here like anybody else, and like any other place. But this is an artsy town. It just is. Whether you call it artsy fartsy or snooty or stuck up or full of shit or foot up the ass or something up your ass. That's what we do. That's what we do, and we love to critique. We love to critique. And that's why it's a tough town to play in. In baseball, because you have a million guys who don't play baseball who feel they can tell Alex Rodriguez what he needs to do to his swing to make an adjustment. That's fucking New York for you, bro. Don't tell Tom Brady if you're playing for New York. Don't tell Tom Brady why he had a backhand and what he needs to do to be a better player. That's just New York. That's just New York.
Yeah.
Bunch of backseat drivers, man.
Huh. Yeah.
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 But that's the deal. But yeah, I mean, I think I can't imagine this being compared to Donnie Darko. But now thinking about it, I know where that comic came from, and I'm not offended by it. I just find it funny. And the reason why I know it's compared to Donnie Darko because I don't think that person understood it. And Donnie Darko was a film that a lot of people didn't understand. And just because you understood it doesn't mean that it's a likable film. But it just went, Donnie Darko goes into that cult following. That cult following. This is a DVD cult following section. That's what Donnie Darko is. When you want to find it, you can't find it. It's like, oh, no, you're looking in the wrong category. It's under cult following. And that's what it is. And cult following films kind of, some people don't understand it, and it has that following. And I think that's where it was coming from. He didn't know what the hell he was watching, and he put it in the Donnie Darko section. I'm almost positive that's what it is. But, I don't know. I may be the most delusional person in the world, but to me, I know exactly what the city of mercy is. I think we live in a culture that wants to be hit over the head. They want everything spoon fed to them. And I'm like, I know people that understood it very well, and they got it. Jim was the older woman that was nailed that man with the handlebar mustache.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, she's a sweetheart of a woman. Her son is pretty big. Her son is Chris Stefano. Chris Stefano was the Guy Code guy. I don't know if you watch Guy Code. I don't watch Guy Code. But he was the Guy Code guy for a long time. He went out with the Guy Code girl. They lived together. She screwed him over. It was a big mess. But he's been doing stand-up for a long time. And he does stand-up in Caroline. He does tours. And he's on MSG. He hosts MSG when talking about the Knicks and everything. And, he does that guy thing. And he was on David Letterman. Stand-up with David Letterman. And now he just got hired. He just got cast in IFC channel and a new series about hockey players, young hockey players. And
yeah. I saw a preview for that, I think.
You did. One of the actors is Chris Stefano, Irish, Brooklyn, New York guy. Yeah. That's his mother. it's the showrunner for that show is Dennis Leary. So we're trying to, we know her. We know her. I've known her for 8 years. When I worked there on Wall Street, I know she's a darling. She loves me. She's the darling. And she came on Geico because they wanted to go to Chris's house and do a episode of Geico there and introduce his mom. And it was very funny. And she was on MTV, and I remember she came into the job, and everybody was like, "Oh my God, man, you're a star, you're a star." And she's so like anti-star. She's like, "Oh my God, you guys are crazy. There was cameras and everything, and my son's doing all this dirty stuff." You know. Good family. Actually, she just had a kid. He married some Puerto Rican girl, and they have this beautiful baby and everything. Good people. But so we know her, and we didn't really want to tell her to invite Chris. We didn't want her to think that we invited her so that she can invite Chris. But we have a plan. But we were like, she at first. She's very religious. So Yolanda called her and gave her kind of told her what it's about. But she said, God is not desecrating religion. It's just kind of challenging people's belief system. And she saw it. And I'll show you the text. She sent Yolanda. She was so taken by it. And I was watching her. I was watching everybody. I was even watching you, Andrew. And she was fixed on that screen. And this woman's not a movie buff. She watches films. She's not an idiot, but she's not a movie buff. And she said she was so taken by it. And she said, I'm still thinking about it. And she said, I love how he put a light on what people could do to religion and how they make it into something perverse and evil. And this is an Irish Catholic woman, a devoted Catholic. Okay? So she got it. And you know what? She came the first time and she couldn't stay and she came again. And she wrote, I can't wait for season 2. Alright?
Yep.
So, Yolana's mother, who, is a well-read lady, who was an intellect. But, she's an intellect, she's in Russia, she was, half country, half language, she was an intellect. She's still an intellect, but, she struggles with the language. She's a very smart woman, she started reading, novels, she read all the Charles Bukowski, but, that's the whole family of Charles Bukowski. But, so Yolana, well, when she saw it, the whole thing, she loves Cootie, she thinks, he's, magical. and I think everybody does. But she said to Yolana, you with me?
Yep, still here, yep.
Yeah, she said to Yolana, City of Mercy is something that I would never watch. She's like, it's just not mine. I would never watch something like that. I watch it because you made it. She told Yolana, you and your husband made this. And I love you guys. She said, but I'll tell you something. It is just incredible. It's strong. It's powerful. And she said, I can totally see why people watch a series like this. She said, I'll watch all of them. You can make, she said, you can make 100 episodes. I'll watch every one because it's you guys. She said, it's nothing I would watch on my own. I would never be interested in something like this because it's just, it's not for everybody. But she said, I love you.
Yeah.
And she meant that sincerely. And I remember when we first showed her this, it was months ago, and we showed her the first when we finished episode 4. And we just ran it through her, and she was, her and her father were totally engaged, and she was like, when the episode was over, she was like, oh my God. And then she said, my God, she said something like, I don't know, she said something like, my God, that man, he broke my heart with his eyes. And she's talking about Cootie. So yeah, man, so, I'm not sweating, I know what it is, and I know what it can be. And that's basically it. That's where I stand with it. I'm more than alright with seeing Russia.
Yep.
I'm not super worried about it, you know. You know, I am worried about it, you know. It's important. It's very important. I don't know if anybody worries about it more than I do, but I'm not going to worry about it being live for people understanding it. It's just like, I know where it's at now. Yeah? Yeah?
Yeah.
And that's, you know, it's usually good. You know, we're doing how it's about it. And, you know, I thought you were going to ask about this chick that we're meeting with today.
Say that one more time. Say it again.
I thought you were going to ask about this chick that we were going to meet today.
Oh, I completely forgot about it.
Oh, you did good.
Because I got stuff going on at work. Like I'm on vacation, but this company, Holiday Inn, bought us out, and everybody has to reapply for their jobs. And my interview, I've been going through this like the last 5 or 6 days. I've tried to keep it inside, but I'm so analytical that my head's going nuts. So I have to interview tomorrow at 10 a.m. for my job again. So it's it's crazy. And my the stuff I normally would do, I'm trying to. It's a good thing I'm on vacation because I don't think I could perform knowing that I could not have a job. You know what I mean? It's tough. It's sales. So, you know, I don't imagine I won't have a job, but depending on who they bring in or what's going on, I may get demoted. I still might have a job, but I may take a pay cut based on what's going on, or I could get a pay raise. I mean, I don't know. We'll find out tomorrow when I do my interview, and Monday I'll know where I stand as far as whether or not.
Going too fast. Like, okay, now what? I don't want to put the juju out there, but what if you don't get your job for whatever reason? They're like, no, we don't want them.
I'm probably fucked. Yeah, I don't know what I would do. I'd have to figure something out. You know what I mean? I imagine they'd give me a severance, and I could live off of that for a little bit. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, from what everybody's telling me, you're gonna have a job. Don't worry about that. It's a matter of, am I gonna get one of the coveted positions that are very, very few now. A position I've held for almost 7 years with the company I work for now. And when this company takes over, apparently the numbers don't. Imagine Imagine a new manager coming in, and Derek Jeter, for all those years, did what he did, and the manager says, "Yeah, you know what? I get it, but we're looking for family men. Derek Jeter's not a family guy."
I want you to try out for shortstop, and it's like, what?
Well, it's like, Derek Jeter, you know what, Derek, I understand you've batted .330 your whole life. I understand you play Gold Glove defense. I understand you're the captain of the Yankees. But we're looking for family men, Derek, and, you know, you're quiet about it, but everybody knows that you have a different girl pretty much every other week. So, it's not the Yankee way, I'm sorry. It's almost like that. And I'm comparing myself to him, one, because it's relevant as far as what you would, analogy-wise, but because I'm the number one guy at this location and have been for years. So, that's, you know, and that's the reality of the situation. So, I have my interview tomorrow at 10, so I completely forgot about the woman. So, what happened with her? She full of shit?
Well, I'm sorry to hear that, but we get a call from 9:30. I get a Facebook message that says, my daughter has poison ivy. I'm in the hospital now. Can we do it at another time? And I just simply text her back. Let's say this for another time. I hope she's okay. And I left it at that. And she never got back to me again.
Wait, hold on. Go back from the beginning. What happened?
Yeah, well, she texted me at 9:30, Facebook me, and she said, my daughter has poison ivy. I'm in the hospital. Can we do it some other time? And then I replied, we'll do it some other time. Just like that, we'll do it some other time. I hope she's okay. And I left it at that. She never got back to me. And I was a little pissed, a little disappointed. But then it's like, you know, I knew it. I think she's like, first of all, if someone comes up to you telling you, when the wackier they are, the quicker they rebuild themselves. And this is deadly for like somebody who's like, whatever. And it's just like, you know, people don't have a fucking clue. You know?
So do you think she was just making up stories just to make up stories to...
I don't think you make up stories. I don't think people understand what goes into this. You know, like, Yana said something interesting. But that's why people are always saying to her, especially the same thing to us, they always say to her, I don't know how you guys do it. You guys, like, have 2 kids. You guys have a dog. You guys, you know, you're pregnant. How do you guys do it? How do you do all this work? How do you balance everything? And we do it, you know why we do it? Because it's our livelihood. We do it because it identifies us. We do it because we have to. And believe it or not, we take our children. Believe it or not, we take our art. This is serious, yes, we take our children. Not that it means that the art will go before us feeding our children, but there's no, of course, you put priority. The children are always priority. But what I mean about we put them in the same category, it means that it's a matter of life and death for us. You know, not only do we love it, but it identifies us. And we're looking just for it. So this is not a game for us. So when you say you're going to fucking leave me 11:30 and call me 2 hours prior and tell me, can we change it? Do you have any idea? And she's one of the people that tell you, like, I don't know how you guys do it. It's amazing. It's like, do you have any idea what takes effect when you're going to meet with us? You know, we have to figure out what we're going to do with Michaela, what we're going to do with Malcolm. I got to rearrange my schedule. No, I don't have to rearrange your schedule. You know, we're very busy people. And when you call us 2 hours before we can meet, and the other one who solicited us, it's like, fool me once, shame on you, fool me twice, you know the rest.
Yeah.
And like, I don't need that shit, man. I'm too old for that shit. And I have too much dignity. I'm too proud of what I do, and I've accomplished too much. So like, you know, let me do that to me. And it's just like, you know, but, you know, this is what you do. This is what the fuck you do. This is, you know, she's a dime a dozen. There's a billion of those motherfuckers out there that do the same shit to you. And then, you know, I'm not looking for a call back. I'm not interested anymore. But it's like, she couldn't get back to me. She texted us at 9:30. She couldn't get back to me. She couldn't get back to me, like, later on that day and been like, Rodney, once again, I apologize. My daughter's okay. But, you know, that she had given me a couple of options. Let's do it Monday, let's do it Wednesday, let's do it Thursday, let's do it Friday. You know, she couldn't get back to me or Yolanda and be like, listen, when are we going to reschedule? She had Tuesday at the day. She had Thursday and Friday at the day. Why did she call back? I'm not going to fucking call her ass. I'm not going to call her ass. You know, and there's certain flags that you look for, and another one, and then she was like, we'll give you a finder's fee. And she's like, oh, no, I don't want to find this fee. Like, really, you don't want to find this fee? But no, I just want to help out, and I love to be in it. When somebody says things like, I don't want to find this fee, or I don't want anything out of it, beware.
Yeah, because they don't want it, because they know it's bullshit.
What was that?
I said they don't want it because they know they're full of shit.
This is bullshit. And, you know, give me the dude that wants to find a fee. Give me the dude that wants something out of it. Because it's clear. It's like, yeah, this is what I want. I want this, that, and the other. And you're like, okay, you decide. You decide. Okay, fine. You know, and that's that.
Because there's something in there's something in it for them to go and do what they said they're going to do, versus just, oh yeah, I can say anything I want. Nobody's going to hold my feet to the fire.
Yeah. You know, hold my feet to the fire. No, motherfucker. Put it on a contract so that when you don't show up to the goods, I'm going to fucking put your head in the fucking fire. I'm going to put your fucking head in the ice. But now, they're not taking anything. I'm supposed to be grateful because you're doing it for free. No, fuck that. Fuck that. Until they put that shit on me. Fuck that shit. wasting my time. She's wasting my fucking time. Okay, she wasted, what, 16 hours of my life? 16 hours of my life,
Here, and the thing is, it's like people create these excuses. I deal with it at work all the time. It's the most outlandish excuses ever. But, you know, it's like, okay, so last night, her daughter was perfectly fine, and magically this morning, 2 hours before, she has poison ivy all over her body. From the moment she went to bed to now. It's like, okay, I remember this one person had to cancel something on me, and the excuse they gave, they stayed overnight in the area that I live in, you know, at a hotel or whatever, and as soon as they got home, they had to cancel their purchase because their house was falling apart. That's the excuse they said. My house is falling apart. And I said, well, what do you mean your house is falling apart? She goes, oh, the roof and this. I said, so you mean to tell me before you bought what I just, you know, what you bought, your house was perfectly fine. And in the 24 hours that you drove home, now all of a sudden the roof caved in and the floorboards are messed up. She goes, yeah, it's unbelievable. I said, you bet it's unbelievable, but you know what else is unbelievable? My uncle lives in your area and he'll do the work for free because you're family now. And within 2 seconds of me saying that, all of a sudden you heard a dial tone. Because she knew that I knew that she was full of shit.
Yeah, it's bullshit. And people want to insult you with bullshit. And you know what? When you throw your kids in the way, I gotta back off. Because that's the holy grail. You don't throw your kids in the way. And she did. And whether it's true or not, I hope it's not. I hope the kid doesn't have poison ivy. But at the same time, throw your kids in the way now. If I say something, I'm a scumbag.
Yeah, because you can't prove it.
Because you can't prove it, I'm a scumbag because your kid has poison ivy, and I care more about this hedge fund thing than your kid's house.
Correct.
So they know they got you there. With kids, I have kids too. Like, okay, you got it. No problem. And I said, we'll save it for another time. I said, let's do it another time. And then I said, I hope your kid's okay. I hope she's okay. That's it. Nothing more, nothing less. Done. But she didn't call me back. I would have called somebody back. Like, listen, my kid's better or whatever.
Sure, you give an you give an update. You give an update because that's what a normal person would do.
Yeah, and you waste my fucking time. I'm not a person you want to do business with. I'm not a person I want to do business with. No fucking way. No way. That person leaves you with your cock out standing on the altar. No thank you. No thank you. You know? And I like to go down the front for that shit. You know? When you deal with those people, you're messing the integrity of what you're building. You know? Don't need it. But, that's the deal. I still have to walk the boards. So I'm gonna, unless you wanna, something else.
No, I mean that's pretty much it. I gotta go to sleep and wake up for my interview tomorrow and pray to God that
Yeah, but listen, my fingers crossed. Dude, you need your job. You need your job. Good Lord.
Yeah. I don't know what I mean. I'd have to figure something out real quick, but.
But no matter what happens, it's going to work out. And I'll never forget what a guy named Andy Kraft told me. He was in dire straits one day, and he told me his story, and I was like, fuck, what are you going to do? He said to me, hey, the ground's not going to open up and swallow me up. And I was like, fuck, you're right. It's not. He's like, no. And if it does, then I'm an unlucky bastard. So, I'm going to open up and swallow you up, man. You're a smart man. And I believe that you're around your feet, come out some way. You know why? Because you have to. You know?
Yeah.
You have to. You fucking have to. And you will. But it's going to work out, because you have to.
Well, worst case scenario, I saw this house that I'm in. I moved to New York City. I found some shithole apartment to live in. And I put the money in the bank from the house, and then I fucking go to acting school. And go and go and go and go and go. I mean, you know?
You know, it's so funny. I was going to say something like that to you, and then I held back because I'm like, he's gonna think I'm being insensitive. The man fucking almost gonna lose his job, and I was gonna tell you to sell the house, go to New York, and you know, you study acting and go on some auditions. Man.
Oh, trust me, it's crossed my mind. You know, I mean, with this whole thing going on. I mean, obviously, in an ideal world, I keep my job, but not only do I keep my job, I get one of the 4 potential positions that that are going to be out there. But you know, I mean, from what I've been told, these guys that are doing the interviews, they're sharp as can be, and they're asking crazy. They put you in such a position where you got to be careful how you answer. It not like a normal interview. I mean, this is like, okay, so why do you feel that you're better than everyone else? Okay, questions like that. If you were a book, what kind of book would you be? So if you're telling me that you're doing so much better than everyone else, so are you selfish? Is that what you're saying? You don't help anyone else because the statistics show that you're light years ahead of everyone. So why you know, and shit like that. I mean, those are the questions I've asked everybody so far. And so, you know, I'm very analytical. I'm very dry. I think I can go in there and tell them how it's going to go, but at the same time, I got to be careful with how I answer. And, you know, it's a good thing that Bill Belichick fucking answers the way he does, because I can just give him answers like that. What are they going to fucking say? You know?
Yeah. Good point.
So, you know, and then Monday we'll figure it out. Monday I'll know if what's what, you know.
I will say this, you know, if you had to move to New York, there are places here, and lots of places where, you don't have to live in the big lights, big city. It's not Boston, it's not Massachusetts, but it's fucking maybe Queens, tree line neighborhood. You can fucking lay out naked in front of your door, and no one will walk by and see you. You know? You know, there are places here that are very quiet, very residential, and it's nothing but trees and grass, and, you know, and it's quiet. You know? You don't have to live in Williamsburg. You don't have to live in the East Village. You don't have to live in Times Square. You know? That's the misconception about New York City. You know, when I travel, people always think I live in a fucking skyscraper. I kind of do now. But people, you know, like, people don't have an image of Brooklyn being, like, quiet. I mean, New York being quiet, or having trees, or seeing, you know, fucking, you know, a raccoon here and there, or, you know, a fucking woodpecker, you know, when you look out your window. You know, it's again, it's not the country, but, man, there are some places in New York that are within, you know, half an hour distance from here. I fucking swear I'm in the country sometimes. You know?
Yeah.
So, you know, there are all those places, man. There are all those places in New York. You know, they're very, again, residential, quiet, and tree lined, and, you know, it's a nice neighborhood. It's residential, and it's quiet. You know, you don't have to be in the big city. So just, you know, if whatever happens, you know, just know that.
Yeah.
You don't have to walk out your door and be run over by a yellow taxi. You know, all of New York's not like that. You know? But, all right, man, good luck. Good luck.
All right, man. You know, well, I'll keep you updated. I'm like hedge fund woman.
Hmm?
I said I'll keep you updated. Unlike hedge fund woman.
Please, look, tell me. Yeah, I will. But tell me what happened, man. Give me your phone on Facebook. You know, if you care to, you know, reveal what's going on with your job, man. I'm just, you know, I got my fingers crossed.
All right, thanks, man.
All right, Andy.
I'll see you.
Thanks, man. Have a good night. Good luck.
All right, guys, that was Rodney Ferrer, director of City Mercy, show I'm in. Let's get back to the game here. Betts has hit a home run, has extended his hitting streak to 58 games. Meanwhile, Eduardo Rodriguez has pitched one hell of a game, 8 innings, 1 run.
Ryan Hennigan, as he's swinging first pitch and sends a line drive out to left center. Base hit. Long throw to third. And they keep rolling here. Their runners at the corners, but still nobody out.
What I have to do, however, is I have to start warming somebody up here in the ninth. For the ninth, I should say. It's 7 from him, 7 from him. These guys are at 21. Cook can pitch 2/3 of an inning. And all right, so we'll warm up Noe Ramirez. We'll warm up Ryan Cook.
Here's Jackie Bradley now. As a good changeup will get him to commit too early, and it's strike one. A look here at the hits per side here in the late going. Runners lead from first and third. Here's the pitch. And he chases one up the ladder as he hits a high fly ball out to straightaway center. Catch made in center. Here comes the runner from third. And he will come across to score on the sacrifice fly. This is now a 6-1 ball game.
Good job there to pick up an insurance run here on the sacrifice fly. The way their starters throwing, he may not even need it. But I bet he'll be grateful for that extra cushion, no doubt.
Mookie Betts will stand in with a run in, 1 out and 1 on here in the inning. First pitch coming. Hard hit towards center. Souza is there, 2 gone. Dustin Royer, see if he can keep it going. 3 for 4 thus far. Now here's the first pitch. Fastball right back to the mound. And he'll flip it on to first, and with it, that ends the inning. It's a run on 2 hits, 1 left. 9th inning coming up. It's the Red Sox 6, the Rays 1. Evan Longoria will stand in, needing to get things started here in the top of the 9th. Ryan Cook will come on now, hoping to wrap this one up here in the top of the 9th. And we kick off the 9th inning with a swinging strike here, 0-1.
That's about where he'll sit with that fastball. 93, 94. That's plenty hard enough to blow by guys in the meet.
Now here's the pitch. Fouled back. Now the pitch. Fouled back. Here comes another 0-2. Lays off that time, and it's 1-2.
On 0-2, if that's a curveball, a changeup, a sinker, then maybe you get a guy to chase. But it's much easier to lay off a pitch down there when it's a straight fastball.
2 outs away from the victory here that you'd have to say will be a rather convincing one.
You know, Matt, in every phase of the game, hitting, pitching, defense, it all favors the home side here. Top to bottom, they've been the better team.
Here's the first offering. Out in front, but this is skied into straightaway right. Betts will come in a bit and put it away for the second out of the inning.
With a big lead, he can afford to take a few chances with that fastball. And here, this one works out for him because this is nothing more than an easy fly ball.
Noah Ramirez will get the call here as he'll try to work the final third of an inning in the top of inning number 9. Look at a slider here that finds the zone for strike one. You have to say, they've really had a good game plan for attacking the 3, 4, 5 hitters all game long.
Yeah, and I think the only thing that's better than a game plan has been the execution of that game plan. You're exactly right. They've held this lineup at bay.
Tries to shave the corner with that pitch, but it's 1-1. They can call strike two, and now they're down to their final strike tonight. Very patient here to start the at-bat. Maybe even a little too patient, because now he's down 1-2.
And I don't think he's going to get anything better than that to hit.
Close, but it's not over yet. That's ball two. Swing and a miss. He took him out, and that'll do it here as the ball game is over.
Well, here we go. Tackle number one onto that winning streak. They've now got up to 6 in a row. That's not looking like the hot spell's going to end anytime soon.
One more look at the final line score there to see the great pitching performance that led his guys to the victory. Well, you always hope to get a good outing from your starting pitcher, but this man went above and beyond in this one. He's our top player of the game.
Yeah, he definitely turned in the standout performance. He finishes with an even 10 strikeouts, and he was instrumental in leading his guys to victory.
So that's a wrap here tonight. Eric Carroll, Steve Lyons, Matt Excursion. You've been watching MLB The Show. For more, find us on Facebook at MLB The Show. The Red Sox win it 6-1. Good night from Fenway.
Alright guys, thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, comment. You know the drill. MLB 15 The Show. Stay tuned for Wednesday, 2 days from now. Fantasy football week number 3 with McLovin. We'll see you next time, guys.